Reddit overload presents 3 entitled parents stories. Before we start, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more videos. I just saw a lady get tasered for trying to snatch a woman's face mask to give her to child. We were at the dreaded big box store picking up potting soil because we are going to DIY ourselves through the isolation. Things aren't crazy here yet, but there is a 2 per customer limit on a majority of items. I assume this means everything, so we are getting 2 bags each of a few different types of soil. My husband is loading the last of 8 bags on our cart when I hear her. I know it's a Karen just by the level of unnecessary outrage in her voice. Karen, are you kidding me? Not a lot of people out here in the garden center, but we all look to her. I was almost disappointed to see she didn't come with the requisite haircut. She actually looked like a frazzled mom, her kid tugging on her hand and an overfull hand basket of groceries, and I had a moment of girl, I feel you. But damn it, she was pointing at us. Karen, you can't buy that many. You are hoarding. My husband, yeah we can. We are getting 2 each. Karen, oh you don't fool me. I know what you're doing. My husband, so do I, fuck off. I'm just sitting there imagining all the ways I'm gonna rock his world tonight. Well, Karen huffed at that, spun around and yanked her kid back inside to go complain to the employee working the register nearby. Now, we already paid for our items. The employee had come out and scanned the bags earlier, and he could easily see our cart from inside. So, being finished, we pushed the cart out of the garden center into the parking lot. And then the automatic doors open behind us, and I hear now they're stealing. Juice, great. We load the soil in the car and turn around to bring the cart back and look at plants. By the time we get back, Karen has given up on trying to convince the employee we are the Bonnie and Clyde of dirt and is now trying to negotiate skipping somebody in line. She has a child, you see, and her hand basket, well, it's just so full and heavy. Could she please just scooch right on in here real quick and it'll just be an extra second, she swears. The woman Karen is trying to skip is young, maybe college age, and wearing a face mask. Not a medical mask, but the stretchy kind you'd wear while riding a motorcycle or when you're skiing. My husband has just informed me it's a neck gaiter. The mask is black and has like scary wolf teeth on it that honestly made the girl look like somebody you should not fuck with, even though she was wearing a Gap t-shirt and flip-flops. Mask girl is just shaking her head no, and that's all I got as we dropped off the cart. Eyebrows, pick up a couple plants, and we head inside to wait in line. Now it's showtime. Karen and Mask girl are near the register facing off, no pun intended. From the looks of things, Mask girl finished her purchase and Karen stopped her before she could leave. I don't know if she grabbed her or anything, but Karen was still holding her full hand basket, so she hadn't checked out yet. Well, she hadn't paid for her groceries yet, because clearly this woman had checked out. Karen, but you don't even need it now, you're leaving. My son could get sick because you won't give it to him, and he needs it. Mask girl, hell no, you can't have it. Back off, lady. Karen, but my son really likes it, and it's obviously made for boys anyway. Why would you even want to wear something so scary? Mask girl, because I like it. And it has my germs on it. Why would you put a stranger's mask on your kid? Karen, ugh, why are you being so rude? You wouldn't let us go through the checkout first and now you're making my son very upset. Mask girl, your problem, not mine. And then Mask girl turns to leave while Karen manifests the biggest balls ever and grabs Mask girl by the back of her mask. Let me make a side note here. When all of this is going down, we are all just standing in line and watching. The register is still going boop, boop, boop as the employee scans items, but otherwise we are all just inside this hypnotic bubble. But when Karen reached out towards Mask girl, it was like the bubble popped and made everything crystal clear. Not slow-mo or anything, but I absolutely felt hyper-aware. Like Spider-Man. Karen reaches out. People on both sides of me inhale loudly. Karen grabs the mask and yanks. A lady on my right yells, and my husband steps forward. So getting late tonight. Mask girl tucks her head down, and she turns to Karen like a pissed off bull with a bright and shiny new target. I think Karen was going to say something like, "Don't walk away from me" or something, but all she got out was "Don't crack, asterisk." I looked around. Because the noise was so loud I figured the roof was about to cave in. But out of the corner of my eye I see Karen spasm and drop to the floor writhing. Little Miss Mask Girl had a fucking taser. I dunno when she pulled it out, this tiny little flashlight looking thing, but she laid Karen out with it. And not one of us moved for what felt like forever, like we were frozen. And then it was fucking bedlam. Security guard shows up, more employees show up, Mask Girl is chilling, like she's been through this before, and knows what comes next. The kid is screaming that the wolf girl killed his mom, even though she's groaning and sobbing on the floor and clearly not dead, but maybe wishing she was. The people that had been in line with us were all talking at once trying to tell the security guard what happened. We hung around just witnessing the insanity for maybe 2 minutes before Karen started choking out demands for an ambulance, the police, a lawyer, the mayor, restitution, and reparations. My husband made eye contact with an employee and got a thumbs up when he put the plants on a shelf and pointed towards the door. We got the fuck out to there. We drove home in silence until my husband parked the car in our driveway, and then we just burst out laughing. Neither of us have ever seen anything like that before. We live in a small beach town. People are super laid back and mellow. Karen was anything but, and I hope to never see her again. Entitled Aunt and Uncle, how dare you make your daughter your successor? Our son deserves that job. My boyfriend's father recently announced that he plans to retire in a few months and hand over the reins of his company to his right hand, i.e. his daughter and my BF's sister Shania, name changed. She has been working with him for over a decade and has played a pivotal role in growing the company. She's an astute business person and everyone agrees that she is the ideal candidate for the job. Everyone except boyfriend's paternal uncle, entitled Uncle, to know more about him and his problematic views on gender roles go to my post history and sort by top, and his wife entitled Aunt. When they heard about this they were horrified. How dare his brother put a woman in charge of his business? How could they overlook their son, BF's cousin, who was obviously more qualified for the job by virtue of having a penis? They didn't say it in so many words, but this is pretty much the gist of it. The uncle's son was denied a job at the company years ago on account of his erratic behavior and general ashlery. Back then, the uncle insisted that his son should just be handed a cushy job at the company simply because he was family. Now the uncle had the gall to expect his brother to make him in charge of the company when he steps down. His reasoning is that only a man should inherit the family business and that it just wasn't a woman's place. The uncle actually seemed way more upset about his niece getting the job than he was about his son not getting it. He and his wife kept repeating the same nonsense about how it was a huge mistake to put a woman in charge when male members of the family were available. BF's dad tried to explain to them why Shania was suitable for the job and the EU's son wasn't. However, it's notoriously difficult to reason with bigoted shitheads. They refused to listen and actually suggested that BF's dad take their son under his wing and teach him. Because he's so smart and he can learn really fast. He'll run the company way better than Shania, you'll see. Also, since your son, i.e. my boyfriend, isn't man enough to be your heir, you should give our son a chance. They kept making ridiculous arguments like what about when she gets married? She'll change her surname. My boyfriend's dad tried to explain to them that whether she gets married and changes her surname or not is entirely her decision. And if she does, how on earth would it affect her business acumen and leadership skills? When my boyfriend's dad and sister shut them down, they changed tactics. Yesterday evening, BF received a call from his aunt. She went on an insane rant about how my boyfriend's dad didn't know what he was doing. She then tried to provoke my boyfriend. She told him, since he was the son, it was his natural right to succeed his father and he shouldn't let his sister rob him of it. My boyfriend told her to never dial his number again and hung up. These assholes knew very well that my boyfriend has never been interested in his dad's business. But I guess, since their son wasn't getting to run the company, they decided to try to provoke a feud between my boyfriend and his sister, because they're the kind of sad, bitter little shits who just cannot see other people happy. Single mom at Costco. So as you all know, people are freaking out about the coronavirus, so they're doing everything they can to get their hands on supplies to last the quarantine. My family decided that we were going to try to go to Costco today to get preparations for a couple of weeks of dinners and some other home essentials, like most others are doing. As we're walking around and picking up the supplies we need, I started to notice that the store was basically in chaos. People were hoarding items such as toilet paper. Although Costco has limited the amount of rolls a single person can buy at a time, there were a few people bickering back and forth about items, etc. It was kind of funny to see people acting so immature in a time to panic. My family and I took our groceries to the checkout line, as you do, and stood behind some woman and her 2 children. My dad and I started chuckling together about how much of madhouse the grocery store was, when the woman standing in front of us whipped around and started shouting at us to keep our germs to ourselves. She had a stick up her ass about us being too close to her and her 2 children, and how we were spreading our germs. It was a bit strange, but understandable, I suppose. When the woman in front of us finally got to the checkout counter, she started unpacking a good 10 to 15 packs of toilet paper as well as her other food groceries to be scanned. As I mentioned earlier, Costco had put a limit of 1 pack of toilet paper per person, which meant that this woman would have to put all but 1 pack back where she found them. The cashier mentions this fact to the woman, and she replies by saying, "Well, I'm a single mom and I need these toilet paper rolls for my family, so we don't have to come back out and get sick once the virus spreads more." To which the cashier replied, "I'm sorry ma'am, but being a single mom doesn't have any impact on the limit, so I'm going to have to ask you to please put the excess toilet paper packs back." This woman was not having it. She had the audacity to start yelling at the cashier about how he should be respecting her because she works her ass off to maintain the peace of her family because her cheating, lying husband took all of her money when they divorced. While this is all going on, the line was getting very long and people were getting impatient, so the cashier calmly tells her to either pay and take her groceries, not including the toilet paper, or to get out of line. The woman reluctantly agrees and proceeds to hand the cashier her card. Before the cashier can complete the transaction, the woman asks the cashier if she can have a discount because she's a single mom and can't afford everything she put in her cart. Now, I had been standing in line for a good 20 minutes now, and this really got on my nerves. I don't understand why people are so uncooperative, especially about things like this. Thanks for watching, and remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. Have a good day.